Hello everyone, this is Boricua Banks and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Justice for All. In the last episode, we were questioning the Adrian Andrews. And yeah, we got some interesting stuff out of her. I mean, she pretends she's all tough, but yeah, she wasn't that hard to break. A little here, a little there. Now we're trying to prove that there was something in the guitar case other than a red or a white or a black guitar. And yeah, Phoenix is pretty determined to say yes, it was another nickel samurai costume. So let's continue on.
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Right? Are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo?
Mm-hmm.
Order! Order!
Ow, that hurt my throat to do that. Ow.
It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. It works out for you.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places?
True. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case?
It was stolen from On Guard? It was a spare costume. Mr. On Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one.
What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case?
It would mean that the victim himself had planned to bring this spare to the ceremony. Mm-hmm.
But why? The victim, Mr. Korida, was the Jamin ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
Ah, so that's what he intended. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Don't figure things out without me. Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just...
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was... Now we finally get to use this! A press conference, remember?
What is this?
On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. The one that Matt says, huh? I don't know nothing about that.
A press conference?
Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well.
For once you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ungard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida himself.
The victim?
Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corrida was going to hold a press conference as the nickel samurai. Remember, they had this hatred for each other.
He was going to dress up as the nickel samurai and hold a conference. But why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I'm concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The nickel samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Corrida, posing as the nickel samurai, was going to speak about Matt Ungard.
Yes, I guess that is what it would mean.
But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure.
Miss Andrews.
I can see why you are pros at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Here we go.
Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You?
Juan had bet everything on the Gemin Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought, anyway.
He was going to ruin him, huh?
It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed.
What?
Ah, you know Matt always wants to be refreshing as a spring breeze.
And do you know what the secret of Mr. Ungard's is, Miss Andrews?
That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
Ah, I see.
I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all.
Protect Mr. Ungard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems.
You're the one who framed him. How could you be protecting him? I don't understand this girl.
Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife, but I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him.
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If there are no objections, I feel that I can pass a verdict based on this testimony.
No. Come on, Judge. Judge. Why?
Now then, Mr. Wright, if you please.
Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. That's what you're good at. can't believe the judge is falling for this. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own.
Ugh.
If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things.
3 things?
A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. What do you remember, Phoenix? Because sometimes I wonder if you have amnesia. Well, you did already in this game. Anyway, may I continue now? Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. So, would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt Engarde.
And you knew of his plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews?
Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. Engarde himself didn't know anything about a press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the most important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony.
Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you please.
Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright?
You sound like Edgeworth.
I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. What do you mean?
Has Mr. Engarde done something to hurt or betray you personally?
Why do you ask?
You were the one who helped Mr. Corrida with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. Engarde, yet you still helped out.
Oh, come on. Edgeworth, we need to know this.
The person on trial right now is Mr. Engarde, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? I didn't have an alibi for what he's doing at the time of the murder. Well, he was asleep, but yeah, that's hard to prove.
But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. Engarde was taking a nap in his room?
Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. Engarde? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time.
I keep trying, but I can't find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however.
The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. I was about to say, he would never, glare at Mia. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife.
You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage.
Then, what about the button?
The button?
It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and the murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Gemin Ninja's costume.
You're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hakama. Isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence.
Ugh. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat.
Mia has no comment.
Mia, please, you're supposed to be supporting me.
Thank goodness Mia can still look at me.
With an icy stare, yes.
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
That button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly. Or so I heard. I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that. Just because I'm prepared and you are not. Ugh, and I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where and what? I thought that I had to protect him. But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Engarde at any time. Why, then, would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Corrida planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. Engarde as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour. And please, stop slandering the witness. As I expected. Oh no, it's Phoenix, sorry. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now, but you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm going to pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Oh, you're going to pin her down, huh? Okay, I had a feeling that was the murderer. I don't have any way to prove I'm right. What do we have? We have the attempted suicide stuff. One's autopsy. Gladys photo. I don't know. Ben was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. Curry. Is there something I didn't press? Ooh, this is... I'm stuck, guys. Wishy-washy. I need decisive evidence, but of what? I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. I need to prove... Button. Oh. You know what, guys? I'm sorry. I'm stuck. So that will be it for today's episode. I'll figure this out in the next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye!